Alright. Hey everybody. Part 4. So, just to let you guys know before we take our next step, the only thing I've done between the last video and this video is just kind of, I've set the very background for light gray and then faded the background that we're planning to use over that. And really all I've tried to do is make it match a little better to the gray around the model, and you'll understand why in a little bit. I'm just going to fade that a little bit more. And there we go. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do here is over on the tools, I've got a move option. I'm going to go ahead and go to layer 3, which has my model on it. And I'm just going to move the model over to the edge here. Okay. So the next concept that we're going to take a look at is ways to select things. Like I talked about earlier, we have the ability to cut and paste things around. But how we are cutting things out and doing things kind of depends on the tools that we're using. Now, with Paint.net, we've got 4 basic tools, and I will call 3 of them useful. Okay. We've got a rectangle select key. We've got a lasso select. We've got an ellipse select, which is not as useful, and we've got what's called a magic wand. So let's go ahead here and do these step by step. Our goal here at this point is to take out some of this background around our model, okay? Because we'd like the background that we put together on the first part to come through. So in order for us to do that, I think our best way is to just start grabbing areas of this and start working with it. So let's start with the rectangle select tool. Let's click on that. And we have the ability to select rectangular areas. And if we've selected a rectangular area, we can just hit delete. Now, if we look at that, one thing we can do here is just grab little areas and start deleting them with our rectangle. So this becomes really kind of useful as we're trying to get big areas of solid kind of colors out of the equation. Okay. The next tool that we have here is something called the lasso. Now the lasso is the same kind of idea that we are selecting an area, but we're going to do it, okay, by dragging our mouse around. Once we've dragged it, we can hit delete again, and there we go. So again, we'll just drag it, select it, let go, and hit delete. And that really is it. The other thing we have here in Paint.net is something called a zoom tool. It's also hotkeyed to the Z, or Z, if that's how you roll. Okay, so let's go ahead and see our left mouse click and our right mouse click do different things here. So let's use our left to kind of blow it up to the full screen. The bigger we work, the easier this is going to be. So again, let's go back in with our lasso tool just to give a good idea of what we're doing. Drag out little areas here. Okay. We'll delete that. And we'll do the same thing here. Okay. The last tool that we have here is really situational. It's called the magic wand. Now what the magic wand will do is select areas of similar color value. Depending on what we have up here is a tolerance factor. Okay. So what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and click on the magic wand. And let's go ahead and set our tolerance for 10%. Okay, so we just drag this back and forth. Let's set that for 10%. And let's click in this one little area here. And if we click it, it shows us what's selected, and we can delete. So this basically selects areas of similar color, which we can then later take out. It's situational. You will find later down the road as you learn how to use the magic wand tool, it's very helpful. As a newbie, I would stick here with the lasso, and we'll just try and get as close as we can to the edges of our model, and then delete areas of this background. Okay. We also have something here at this point called an eraser tool, and we will go ahead with our eraser tool, setting our brush width for about 10 pixels or so. We can then also, by just dragging, start to erase our model out of our background. As an avatar maker, depending on how you make them, this may be where you spend a lot of your time, particularly when you're starting. Okay? Now, other image editing programs have the ability to go ahead and use special tools, etc. This is paint.net. It's free. You get what you pay for. That said, when I'm using Paint Shop Pro, which is a paid-for program with a bunch of other options, I end up going this route myself anyways. So if you go ahead and you teach yourself how to go ahead and be good at this point, you're going to just be laughing down the road when they do give you another tool that is kind of situational as well. Okay, and there we have it. That's how we erase a model out of the background here in Paint.net. Takes a little doing, okay, but if we go ahead as we are erasing the background with our eraser tool, what you're going to find is it's best to just work in little strokes one at a time, because if we make a mistake we can just hit Control-Z and go back. We don't have to go very far back. So as you do get a good stroke every once in a while, just go ahead and make sure you kind of release your mouse button and make your next one. Okay. So down here in the corner here, this is another part where I might use the magic wand tool. With the magic wand tool here, let's go ahead and increase our tolerance to maybe 20%. Click this area and delete. As you see, that was actually very effective in that spot. Okay. We'll go back to our eraser tool. Okay, let's get this area here. Okay. And really that's it. Let's just go ahead and erase, and there we have it. Alright, go back to our magnifying glass, right click, make it to our normal size, and you know what? That's not half bad. The last thing I'm going to do at this juncture here is let's go ahead and zoom in, and we can actually drag our color palette up, and I'm obviously not a real big fan of this text down here, which is the copyright stuff. And let's just paintbrush that out. We can actually just do this a number of different ways, okay? But the easiest way is just to grab a paintbrush, set that paintbrush for the color very close to it with our color picker. Okay. And then go ahead and do it that way. There's a number of different ways we can get this out here at this point, but that's going to be situational again. It's going to depend on how you like to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of grab a lighter one. Go ahead, take your time, make sure it matches. There's other things that we can do here at that point, but there's a few different ways we can color up that text. We can erase it, we can paint over it, we can blur over it. So we'll go ahead and in later tutorials kind of work on ways to manage that. But there you go.